for a hockey game. I'm not sure. We're going to have Team Giannis, Team LeBron, their practices. Lots to cover. I've got my 2 Hall of Famers with me again. You know, when you get down to the practice side of it, I always wonder, like, how much practice? We're talking about practice. Like, how many plays? What does a coach in the All-Star game do?
You pretend that you're putting in an out-of-bounds play.
Okay.
You pretend that you're putting in a play.
Okay.
And all the players laugh at you.
And they just do what they want, right?
Yeah, and that's – but the beauty about these players, because they're so good, they're so talented, and they're so smart, they can play any kind of style you want them to play. And really all you have to do is literally just roll the ball out, and they'll figure it out.
Like, what are you doing in practice, Jim? And obviously, like, you're getting your body. It's been a couple of days, right? So you're getting your body a little loose. But other than that, I mean, I'm sitting there and you're watching guys. It's not like you're gonna prep the flying V from the Mighty Duck. What are you gonna be doing during practice?
Well, you're right. I mean, first of all, these guys are all prepared and they know how to play basketball. And whenever you put in, you can give some plays in the meetings and in the locker room, and they'll be able to execute. But I remember in 1996, Phil Jackson was the coach. We were in San Antonio. And we went up and down in scrimmage and went hard, but he rested Scotty and Mike. So everybody else went hard, and Scotty and Mike didn't go. And then the next year, in 1997 in Cleveland, Doug Collins was the coach, and Doug asked Michael, what do you want to do? And Michael said nothing. So we didn't do anything. We just took some shots. So it can go either way, you know. But the consistent thing in that case was Michael didn't do anything. But no, I mean, it's just a chance for the fans, a chance for the guys to, maybe put in some out-of-bounds plays, whatever. But you're not going to get a whole lot accomplished. It's just practice.
All right, well, look, there's been a lot of talk about the rosters, right? We had Steph, who said one thing. KD has said a lot. KD said these are the best 5 players in the world on one team. Now, I don't know if he meant the starters. Sound like he meant the starters. We know the top 3 certainly right now, probably right there in the middle of the screen. And, oh, by the way, via trade, Ben Simmons, we're still waiting for the cash considerations. Team Giannis, KD said he'll learn. He's not from here. He doesn't know how to put together a team. But you say, Zeke, you're going the other way. You like the fact that there's a little bit of a grind mentality, Embiid and Westbrook, the local guys who have something extra to bring in Curry and Kemba Walker.
Yeah, I like the competitive spirit that Giannis and his team will bring to the game. They're underdogs. They got a lot to prove, and I just think that those guys will play a little bit harder and compete a little bit harder in this type of all-star setting.
Last year, fourth quarter, we saw some competitiveness, which is nothing compared to what it was even 90s, and definitely not the way I grew up and you grew up watching it when you played, where it's like, wow, these guys really don't like each other. It at least came off that way because there was that mentality once you got on the court. Were you pleased, Grant, to see it a little bit better last year, and do you think this format continues to maybe get it progressing the way it needs to go?
You know, Casey, I was encouraged last year. I don't think it necessarily had to do with people not liking each other. I just think it was about competition. Right. It was about competing. And, you know, I think players now are sort of more aware. They're making more money. There's a lot of factors that may have gone into some of the problems with the competitiveness in the All-Star game. But I think the new format, and I think just the awareness of what's happened, the players stepping up, playing hard, making it exciting down the stretch. So that's encouraging, and I'm hopeful that will carry into All-Star game here tomorrow.
And I think something Zeke mentioned before, and he's right, a lot of our younger players, and maybe because they come from other places, I think part of it, their mentality because of everything they went through to get here is they don't have days or minutes off.
Yeah.
When you've got guys like Giannis and Embiid, they're going to present the culture on that floor that others will have to follow, right? Isn't that something you look for?
100%. And, you know, and I can, if I put myself in Kevin Durant's position right now, he's looking at he and LeBron James, they are the 2 best players in our league. So quite naturally, he's thinking we got the best team. But I did ask him, who's going to sleep tonight? Who's going to go out and hang out with their friends? And I just think like Giannis and those guys, they will take the game much more serious. Now, if it gets down to the fourth quarter, then LeBron and his group, KD and his group, they do have more talent in terms of superstar talent. But the other 3 quarters, don't be surprised if Giannis and his group is, out to a big lead, and LeBron and his group have to make a comeback.
And we talked about it. There are always the home player, and look, we had Anthony Davis before. I remember him with the performance in New Orleans a couple of years ago. For Kemba playing for the team, and for Steph with family and the relationship and everything else, and the 75 seats for all the family members. Grant, there's also going to be an element, I think.
You said 75 seats casually. He's got to buy 75 tickets for his family.
And that's pricey.
Yes.
You can afford it, but that's pricey.
And they wasn't comped. That's the surprising thing. They wasn't comped.
Well, for those who just joined us, weren't here earlier, and I didn't want to get on Steph while he was sitting there, but he said that he and Seth have a bet. Whoever goes further in the three-point competition, the other guy's got to pay for the tickets. I'm thinking, bro, do you see what you're making compared to what your brother's making?
Yes.
I mean, that doesn't seem right.
It's like big brother bullying right there.
But there is an additional, Grant, almost a romanticism around the homecoming. Do teammates feel that? Will teammates want to get Kemba involved, want to get Steph involved, understanding all of that in terms of them coming home?
Well, I think a lot of it is how the game plays out. And I think, as the game is going, I think everyone can sort of read and have an awareness of who's hot, who has it going. Obviously, if Kemba Walker and or Steph, and they're both obviously very capable, the ball will be in their hands a lot as guards. So I think they'll have opportunities to be great. But if we get into the second quarter, third quarter, and they have, 20, 25 points, don't be surprised if guys start feeding them and letting them go and try to, go for that MVP, and particularly with those two who have roots here in Charlotte.
Now, I don't think Dirk is going to be on the floor long enough. I figure, even though I do think there could be a funny moment where somebody like LeBron or Harden comes in and they get Dirk and he maybe just backs out of the way. But D-Wade may be on the floor more. LeBron is at the helm of that team. This is something else to watch. Not only those two playing together, but I think everybody, because of the respect they have for D-Wade, he can still play and still spurt and get it going. I'm curious to see whether or not they give him an opportunity here tomorrow.
I think if D-Wade is on the court at the same time that Dirk is on the court, they both will want to guard each other.
Yeah.
I mean, D-Wade will probably want to match up against Dirk. I mean, just because of that respect factor. And I think they both realize that they may be a little older and a little slower, so they're going to want to compete against each other a little bit. But when you talk about LeBron and D-Wade, I asked D-Wade, what was he looking forward to in this game? And he said he just wanted to throw LeBron James one more lob. I mean, because that was their signature play. And if it happens in this All-Star game, I think it'll be a beautiful moment for both of them.
One of the great things that we talk about a lot during the season, but always to me is displayed in the All-Star game. Look, the rosters can only be so big. So there are certain guys who are young players, like I think about it, Tobias Harris and Siakam, maybe, right? One from each league, who had great first halves, don't make it. But D'Angelo Russell gets an opportunity to be an All-Star game. Nikola Vucevic gets an opportunity. We will hear from the rosters when we come back. The introductions, Team LeBron, Team Giannis, the practice. Yes, ball to be played on the court. We're talking about practice when we come back.
No, definitely not. No. Hello, the General.
With all the stuff that's been going on, social media, on the court, on the court, as opponents, I don't like him. I don't like anybody else. It's not just about them. It's about everybody. I don't like, like Siakam. We're from the same country. We're pretty close. I don't like him. I hate him. I don't like.
I respect that.
I don't like.
I respect that.
Would have been a great Detroit Piston. You would have been a great Detroit Piston.
I don't like. I walked out all summer with Jason Tatum. I I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like him, and he plays for Boston too. So, on the court, when we're playing against each other, there's no friendship or whatever. But when we're on the same team, it's different. I'm willing to make it work, no matter the situation, no matter the past, no matter the history. So I'm willing to make it happen. And if the other person doesn't want to make it happen, oh well.
So can we talk about your burner account?
I don't have it. I don't need one. When I want to say something, I'll say it on my account. I don't need one.
Let me sneak this in before we let you run, because it's a good segue. You guys have, and I think Elton's done a fantastic job being Executive of the Year in the first year. A lot of talent, but a lot of different pieces all coming in during a season. Not easy. How has it worked now that Jimmy's been there longer? Tobias comes in, your bench is deeper. How is all that kind of working out day by day into the break last few weeks?
It's been different. It's been a different experience. Got to make it work. We've played 3 games together now, and we lost one against Boston, which is one of our biggest rival in the conference. We just need to keep working together, learn everybody's tendencies, and just learn how to play with each other. And it's all gonna work itself out, and we got a pretty good chance. I'm excited.
All right, well, have fun. I look forward to the bro hug with Westbrook. That probably never going to happen.
It might happen. You never know.
Maybe.
Joe,
surprise us.
We look forward to one day having you on Players Only.
Oh yes, man.
We want to have you come. We want to have you guests come do a game. Forget playing the game. You need to be over here talking about the game.
Is it okay to cuss? Because I'm might cuss a lot.
Hey, we got Kevin Garnett. We got a cuss button.
Joel, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Guys.
Joel Embiid joining us here on set.
Thank you, brother.
The dude. We got a lot to come. Bojangles Coliseum. More All-Star coverage.